Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie, and Arrow and the Flash just released this picture here, teasing their big crossover. So I wanted to dedicate a video just explaining how that's going to work, as well as give a big update on all the shows that DC Comics has in development. There's a lot of them, like Supergirl for instance. Hello to any new people. If you're just finding me for the first time, I'm going to be doing Arrow and Flash videos all season long, so be sure to subscribe to join the team. I'm also doing all the other comic book shows. Big heads up too, they just delayed the Arrow Season 2 Netflix release because of the DVD. They just want the DVD to earn more money. The people that make Arrow, like Stephen Amell, Mark Guggenheim, the showrunner, they have absolutely no say in things like that. If they could find a way to give it to us faster, they would totally do it. With that in mind, I might dedicate one of my future Arrow bonus videos to just doing a big Season 2 recap, if you guys feel like it's necessary. Let me know if people haven't seen it, if they want me to do a video like that, just let me know in the comments. Now for some sweet crossover music. This picture is basically from the table read-through, meaning they all sit around giant tables reading the lines in the script. Just to explain who's in this picture and what's going on. First off, if you look closely, you can see Stephen Amell there in the middle. He's wearing his Arrow costume leather pants. They just call them the Arrow pants, which is totally hilarious. They totally do not look comfortable to just walk around and sit down in. So then from left to right, there's Glenn Winter, the director of the 2 episodes, is a 2-parter. Danielle Panabaker, who plays Caitlin Snow, may or may not have powers on The Flash. Her alter ego in the comics is Killer Frost. Then there's David Ramsey, who we all know and love as Diggle. Jesse Martin, who's playing Detective West. Candice Patton, who's playing Iris West and has her arm wrapped around Emily Bett, who we all know and love as Felicity. Then there's Rick Cosnett, who plays Eddie Thawne. Keep your eyes peeled on him. Then we have our quarterback, Stephen Amell, here in the middle, in tight pants. Grant Gustin. Then Patrick Sabanugi, who plays the captain of the Central City Police Department, where Barry works. Then there's Mark Guggenheim, who's the showrunner on Arrow, and Tom Cavanaugh, who's playing Harrison Wells, the person who runs Star Labs. The actual crossover is going to look a little bit different from what you might used to, just because the CW owns both shows and has all the actors under contract. In addition, CW is owned by Warner Brothers, which also owns DC Comics, so they have the rights to all the characters. It just means it's a little bit easier for them to play in this universe than it is for other networks. On top of that, they grew the Flash show out of Arrow, both in terms of characters and in terms of production staff. So like the people that are writing and producing the Flash also used to write and produce on Arrow. They're like a big family, so it's much easier for them to communicate, which is very rare in television. Structurally, this crossover is just going to be a 2-hour story broken into 2 1-hour parts. Each of those 1-hour parts is going to take place on each different show. They haven't said which show is going to get the first part, but The Flash airs first during the week, so if they want to complete the crossover in a single week, they'll probably just do part 1 on The Flash and then the next day do part 2 on Arrow. That's at least what I'm hoping happens, because who wants to wait a whole week to find out what happens in part 2? We don't really know what the story device is going to be that's going to merit this big crossover, like why Team Arrow has to go on The Flash and why Team Flash has to come on the Arrow. It's possible they could pick some big event out of the comics, or it could be just something totally new they come up with. They did specifically say that the Flash show is sticking really close to the Flash Rebirth comics, but Arrow plays a little fast and loose with canon. What you can plan on is 1 or 2 characters from each show just going on the other. They're not going to have every single member of each team on screen at the same time. Logistically, it would just be a nightmare. Because last year's mid-season finale on Arrow turned Barry Allen into the Flash, I'd bet on something major happening, like the reveal of the Reverse Flash or Zoom or however they want to define the big battle in that show. I'll talk more about him in a separate Flash video, but of all the big reveals they could make, there's the Reverse Flash. Brandon Routh's Ray Palmer could join Team Arrow full on. He could get his Atom super suit. The Rogues could come together as a team for the first time, and we could see Ra's al Ghul for the first time. I'm just going to say Ra's al Ghul. I know Ra's al Ghul, some of you want me to say it that way, but I've seen it both ways on TV, so I'm just going to say Ra's for now. They didn't cast Ra's al Ghul till after the first couple of episodes had already been shot, so we might not see him till that mid-season finale or even later. Last year on Arrow, that's kind of around the time they made the big reveal of Slade being the big bad, so it is possible that they could reveal Professor Zoom as well as Ra's al Ghul. Which actually reminds me, they just cast Captain Boomerang on Arrow. Because he used to be part of the Suicide Squad in the comics, that's probably the kind of story they'll introduce him in. He was also a member of the Rogues in the Flash comics, so it's totally possible that Captain Boomerang could be part of the big crossover. The really funny part about it is that the actor they cast, Nick Terabay, also used to be on Spartacus with Manu Bennett, so just think of the meta thing going on with Deathstroke. I know a lot of you have been asking, but Manu Bennett has not been confirmed for Arrow Season 3, so I'm not expecting to see Slade. Moving along, some other big happenings. Brandon Routh was teasing his Ray Palmer Atom suit. Like I said, it could totally be revealed in that mid-season finale, but in the interview that he just did, he explained that they had just shot about 6 episodes. The interview's old, so obviously now they're getting ready to shoot the mid-season finale, which is episode 9. But he said that he had just seen concept art of his Atom suit, meaning they hadn't made it yet. I would plan on it looking like something close to this, but without the super bright colors. Like they'll just tone it down. Like Roy's Red Arrow costume is just like a toned down version of red. It's not like bright red. It does take them a while to make those costumes, so it's possible that we won't see it till like right before the actual finale next year. In terms of character arcs, Brandon Routh said most of his scenes in those first 6 episodes are just with Felicity, meaning we'll see a lot of Felicity and Ray Palmer doing things without Oliver around. I feel like people are gonna love Ray Palmer, but hate Ray Palmer and Felicity together. Maybe not everyone, but he's gonna be a romantic foil for Oliver. Brandon Routh said it's basically his job to come between him and Felicity. Oliver's the real protagonist of the series. We're supposed to root for him. So whenever someone comes between him and Felicity, obviously we're supposed to not like it. Speaking of Felicity, Mark Guggenheim, the showrunner, has been teasing some Felicity-related behind-the-scenes stuff. First, he posted this picture. It's the inside of Felicity's apartment. Tumblr went absolutely crazy whenever he posted this. Just look at the Robin Hood poster above her TV. It seems totally appropriate. And then, just as I was making this video, like literally in the last hour, he also posted this image. It's a sign from Sherwood Florist. In the comics, the Longbow Hunters story, Oliver Queen and Black Canary moved to Seattle. When they move there, Black Canary gets a flower shop and names it Sherwood Florist. The two of them end up living in the apartment above the shop, but they use the building as their base of operations. So Arrow could turn Sherwood Florist into the new Verdant for the Arrow Cave, just because Verdant was basically destroyed. Or it could totally just be wherever Felicity's new apartment is. In the trailer, we saw her working at like a nerd herd type job, so I don't think that she owns the flower shop like in the comics. So here are a couple important dates you guys need to remember. October 7th, The Flash premieres, that's 3 weeks, and then the next day, Arrow premieres. They're both on the CW, obviously the same channel, but they both premiere at 8 p.m. on each night. Also happening on the 7th, Netflix is dropping Arrow Season 2, at least in the United States. For all you people in international countries, just check your local listings. Sometimes you have to wait a week to get new episodes of Arrow, but whichever channel that Arrow aired on last year is the same channel that The Flash will be on this year. They'll be on the same channel. So moving along, here's the details on all the big new comic book shows that DC has in development at various networks. First up, there's a new super dark animated version of Justice League from Bruce Timm. If you're not familiar with him, he's basically the guy behind like all the best DC Comics animated shows like Batman the Animated Series, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, Batman Beyond, and the Justice League cartoon from about 10 years ago. When they say darker version, I just think of it being more like Batman the Animated Series in terms of tone. No word on when we're going to get to see it. It takes up to 6 months to animate a single episode of television, so it might be like 2016 before we see anything. Then there's the live action Teen Titans. They're just calling it Titans at TNT. I already did a big video about this, so I'll just add a link in the description, but it's still in the pilot stage. Then there's Supergirl from Greg Berlanti and a co-writer. Berlanti is also the guy behind Arrow and The Flash, and he's done a whole bunch of other non-comic book shows. He's super successful, so I'm very optimistic this is going to happen. They are still getting ready to shop it to networks, but it's not going to be on the CW, and it won't be called Supergirl. If everything totally works out, I'd plan on seeing this fall 2016, maybe 2017, just depending on whenever they shoot the pilot. Next is Hourman. That's being developed at CW. Jeff Johns announced it last year, but it's been about 10 months since we've heard anything, so it's possible that the project is dead. Since the CW isn't going to be doing that Supergirl show, it's possible that they could just take this Hourman project to another network. Then, Fox Networks just picked up a show called Lucifer. The character Lucifer Morningstar originated in Neil Gaiman's Sandman comic, eventually got his own spin-off comic, and Fox just bought the rights, so we're probably not going to see this till 2017. Next up is Preacher, based on the Garth Ennis comic. Seth Rogen and Adam Goldberg, these two guys, are developing it for AMC. A showrunner and 2 executive producers have been hired, so it seems like this is moving along nicely, but I would not plan on seeing any news about it till next year, maybe 2016 premiere date. Next up is Scalped, based on the Vertigo comic. That's in development at the WGN network. It's being described as like a Sopranos on a Native American reservation. There isn't a showrunner yet, so they're probably still working on a script for the pilot. Then there's DMZ, that's another Vertigo comic. It's in development at Sci-Fi. It takes place in like this post-Civil War New York of the future, which has been turned into a demilitarized zone, thus the DMZ title. but this is actually pretty interesting. Sci-Fi is also turning the Frank Miller Ronin comic into a mini-series. Just a mini-series, not like a full show. It's about a Ronin samurai who failed to protect his master from a demon. He wakes up in the body of a new person 800 years later and has to fight the same demon for control of a magical sword. So that's a ton of new comic book shows, but this is like the time of the year whenever networks announce which new shows they just bought. There are really only a couple times a year that happens, so if there are new comic book shows that start happening, we probably won't hear about it till next year. Here's the big question though, of all the new shows I just listed, which are you most excited to see? I'll definitely say I'm pumped up about a new Bruce Timm animated Justice League. So the next video I'm working on is going to be a history video for Constantine. I'm going to be explaining his history in the comics and how it's going to work on the show. So be sure to subscribe to get that. I've also seen the first episode, so I might post a review of that next week, like a non-spoiler review. But right now you can click here to get that. I'll add the annotation as soon as I post it. And you can click here to get my non-spoilery review of the Gotham premiere. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys tonight. High fives.